Thanks for tuning in to this latest video of our Demon Souls level walkthrough. This is level 3-2, Upper Latria. We just beat the Fool's Idol earlier, and we got carried up to this really crazy place by some gargoyles. Now, this is a pretty long level, and if you take a look from right here, what you see off in the distance is this really kind of crazy tower with this giant heart thing beating in it. And our goal is to basically, see that chain out there? We need to break that chain. And then, actually, I don't know if you can see the second tower. It's right here somewhere. We need to break a second chain, which is going to drop the heart and let us access the top of that area. So here we're going to go. Going off of that theme of the gargoyles, kind of taking us from the Fool's Idol area and bringing us here. There's going to be a lot of gargoyle enemies that sort of come to life as they're sitting here being statues. There's quite a few items lying about. Nothing that I would honestly consider that useful right off of the bat. Maybe some healing items, some souls. But in the interest of time, given that this is a long level, I'm going to make a pretty direct route to get you through this level as quickly as you can, and fighting the least amount of enemies. The nice thing about the gargoyles, at least, is that overall they're not super strong if you have a fairly upgraded weapon. I'm also using the thief ring right now to make it a little bit quicker. Watch out for this gargoyle right here. He'll drop down and surprise you. Every time you beat a gargoyle, too, they're going to drop this same item, an unknown warrior soul. So it doesn't give you that much, but if you want to, you can try to get it. Coming into this big area right now, you can see that giant weird heart thing. The way you want to go is left and up these stairs. If you go down right, actually, you'll get to a path that will lead down here. And you can see that there's some enemies down there, but there's a lot of items. And eventually, once we drop this heart down into that bottom part, you'll gain access into that space to pick up those items, some of which are pretty good. But for this walkthrough, we're going to skip going down into that area and just focus on getting this heart out of the way. Because I'll show you as we run up here, there's actually stairs that lead further up this tower, but that gross heart thing is actually blocking our access to it. So we need to get that heart taken care of. So turning around and going back into this path right here, we're going to run across. One of these gargoyles is going to come to life and drop down. There's a gargoyle up here with a crossbow. All you need to do is avoid his shot. He can actually be easily run past. Now, as we approach this first tower here with the fog door, be mindful that there's going to be quite a few gargoyles coming around. I always like to kill this one just so he doesn't bother me. We're going to enter this tower here and start running up these stairs. And at the top of the stairs, we're actually going to get to an elevator that takes us further up. The risk here is that if you've aggroed some of those gargoyles and you arrive at the top of the stairs not at the right time, you might have to wait a bit for the elevator. So if these guys are coming at you, you may have to put up a little bit of a defensive stand to fend them off while the elevator is coming down. You can notice that the elevator is coming up or down, though, based on the rope. So most of the time, at least this elevator, you're not going to have to wait more than, at the most, I would say, like 5 or 6 seconds if it just went up. You just have to. It's a pretty quick wait. So running up here, we're going to see the first chain, and we got some of these weird little prisoner guys using magic to keep it up. They're easy to defeat. Usually 1 or 2 hits will take them down. And after we take the last one down, we're going to get a cutscene showing how this chain is broken and no longer supporting the heart inside the tower. It's going to kind of buckle and fall a bit, and now we know we need to find the second one. A little interesting tidbit, if we continue actually up the stairs in this first chain tower, we get to a spot right here that actually keeps going up. Once we get all of World 3 at pure white world tendency, a wooden plank will actually appear here and let us go across this gap and go up. And at the very top of this tower is a key that opens the cell to Rydell. in level 3-1 Prison of Hope. He was the guy who was the Blue Phantom who was like, please let me out, you gotta save me, I need to get something from my corpse. His key is at the very top of this tower, but you can only get it when the entire world here is pure white. Alright, go in here, you'll see some of these cages, but first off we're gonna skip these and keep going here, because there's something fun to point out. And as we drop down, be careful, from this ledge, you'll see that there's these Augites of Guidance, multicolored little stones, drawing your attention to this guy.
Are you here to fight the demons? If so, then help me escape this place. I am on your side. I have come to face the demons.
He sounds like a nice guy, doesn't he? The interesting thing about this guy, who's named Yurt, is that if you do let him go and just sort of take off and do the rest of the level and play the game more, he's going to actually start killing NPCs of yours in the Nexus, eventually killing very important ones. He's actually part of a quest line for a specific ring, which I'll make a video about a little bit later on, but the quest line for that ring only begins once you let him out of this cell and once you kill him. So for the sake of just making this easier, poor Yurt is going to die here. He drops a fun armor set, the Gloom set, if you want to pick it up. Actually, it's too heavy for me, so it's going to go right to my storage. But either way, after you kill Yurt, you're going to want to go in this cage. The door is going to close, and it's going to take you all the way to the bottom of this area, which is kind of like this gross little blood swamp. So once we're at the bottom, there's a bunch of different ways to go. This is a little bit like the Swamp of Sorrow level in that there's quite a bit of real estate to cover, lots of little things to find and items, but you know what? For the sake of time, I want us to get to the second chain tower to get that heart down. If you want to go fast, all you gotta do is come out of the gate, turn left, and go up these stairs. Now these enemies here, these sort of giant man scorpion things, are kind of a pain. They can usually take quite a bit of damage. Their attacks are pretty strong, they're quick, they can lunge at you or they can attack with a sort of overhead scorpion tail stab, so be careful when you fight them. So when you come up onto this dock here, you can either go left or right. For the sake of getting to that second chain tower, we're going to go right, and then we're going to go up here. You pick this up, another soul. And then when we get to this dock, or this platform here, we're going to continue on and turn right. We're going to kill this little baby man scorpion thing. Very easy. And then we're going to run up here. Now up here are 3 of the giant scorpion guys, and what I'll do is I'll take a soul remains, I'll toss it over their head. Oop, not heal. And I'll toss it right in front of me. That'll distract them for a bit. This guy's pretty easy to kill. And then I'm going to go through this fog zone. As we run along this path, we're going to run into one of our favorite enemies, those mind flayers from the Prison of Hope. But he's actually going to be a black phantom version, which means that, number 1, he's going to have a lot more hit points, and number 2, he's going to do a lot more damage if he actually attacks you. So, I don't really feel like fighting this guy, so you can actually see him coming down the way. I'm just going to toss the soul remains right there. Backstab him. That's because I hate him. And then, you know what? I'm just going to keep running. There's no point in wasting time on him. As I get to the top here, there's going to be some more of the giant scorpions to deal with. One is hiding right here. One is straight ahead. And behind him, actually, is a little one that can be kind of hard to see sometimes. As we continue through, there's going to be 2 more scorpions. One is hidden right around here. And here, actually, is a crystal lizard if you want to grab it. He's going to drop, actually, Moon Lightstone, which is pretty helpful if you want to upgrade along the moon path for your weapons, which I'm using a Crescent right now, but my weapon of choice actually is usually a Moon Falcon +5. So, with those things out of the way, we're going to keep running this way. Another gargoyle is going to drop down from above. Take him out if you want. Take that one out if you want. Run along this edge, and it's going to be another elevator that we need to wait for. Now, this one takes longer, and the amount of space you have actually to defend yourself is much smaller. So if you can, take out the gargoyles. If not, get ready more than likely to have to at least take down one, maybe two, as you wait for this elevator. This elevator can take about 15 seconds in between up and downs to arrive down at you. So, going up this long elevator ride, we're going to get to the top of the second chain tower. And just like the previous one, there's going to be some more of those weird little prisoner guys using magic to keep it up. So, I'm going to take them out real quick. And that second chain is going to bust, and finally that heart in the main tower is going to fall down and give us access to the upper portion of that area. Oh no, how gross. For some reason, it was kind of full of weird little enemies too. So the interesting thing about this level is it's basically one big loop, and I'll show you how once this cutscene is done. I'll just skip over this. Running out here on this platform, we're going to fall off onto a lower level, and what you'll see is that where we came out is actually just right where we started. Further up this path right here is the archstone where we started, and over here is the way to that giant tower where the giant heart was. Some things have changed slightly after the heart. You'll still find some gargoyles doing their thing. They're still kind of annoying. There's a man scorpion right here blocking the path, so you want to take care of him. If you want to go down to the area where the heart collapsed to and pick up a bunch of items, which are all down there now, you actually come out here. And then exit via a door at the end. And yeah, I'll show you real quick. Roll through these, come down these stairs, and then there'll be a door on your right once you get to the bottom that grants you access into that lower level. But now, for the sake of time, I want to show you the boss before this video gets too much longer. And the boss is fun, and the boss is also one of those fights that ends up being a big roadblock for a lot of players, only because you actually end up fighting two bosses at the same time. And they're both pretty tough, so we're going to hopefully be able to run in and not die, because that would be kind of embarrassing, but hopefully be able to show you some of the key tactics and how to make the fight a bit more manageable, especially when you have two things kind of attacking you and chasing after you at the same time. So now that the heart is dropped down into that lower level, that weird piece of meat or whatever that was there is gone, letting me run up this kind of dizzyingly long staircase. To make things even more fun, of course, there's one of those black phantom mind flayers right there trying to block your way. Toss the soul remains. It's going to distract him and let you actually just run right by. Never even have to fight him. It's tough fighting him because you more than likely have the risk of rolling off the stairs or getting stunned and then one shot by his grab attack, so you know it's not even worth it. Now, coming up here is the fog door for the boss, the Maneaters, and you start off fighting one. And they have a few different attacks. Probably the most important one to watch out for is this sort of charging lunge. And you can easily dodge it, but you just need to make sure that where you are in position to it, how far away you are from the boss when they do that attack, because if you do get hit, it can knock you off the edge of this bridge that you'll be fighting on. They have a sort of like a ground pound punching attack when they're airborne because they have wings. They have a couple ranged attacks they can use, but we're going to walk you through all the different attacks. Now, one of the key parts of this fight is eventually the second Maneater will show up. So your goal is to really try to get this one dead as quick as you can before the second one shows up, because fighting two of these things at the same time is not fun. So you saw the thing he opened with his lunging attack. There it is again. Oh, the AI is super not great for the Maneaters. A lot of times, like, the fight will glitch and everything will just leave. But anyways, there's the lunging attack. All you need to do is either roll backwards or to the side. One cool initiative thing is, like, they have these tails on them, and every now and then the tail will actually bite him. And when he does, if you let the bite continue for too long, it'll actually buff him and give him much stronger attacks for a short amount of time. So when that snake bites him, it's a good opportunity for you to go in, attack him from behind, because eventually you can cut the tail off of the boss completely. And once that tail's gone, he won't have that buff anymore. So now you saw the second health bar. The second Maneater is making his appearance. There he is. Now this one is actually, he's more aggressive. He actually takes less damage than the other one. Oh, I got super lucky there. I don't want to get knocked off the edge. Now this one is more aggressive. He does more damage. He relies more heavily on punching attacks, but he's still pretty easy to avoid. If he punches at you, you can either roll backwards or you can actually roll forward. I prefer forward because it'll put you behind him and a good place to attack. Just like that. Attack. Oop, punch him that time. He will do lunges, although he's a little bit more punch heavy. But just as long as you're locked on, oh, here's a little bit of a ranged attack. All you need to do is roll back. Or you can even roll forward and it'll roll underneath it. Here's that snake buff again. Just get in there. I actually cut the tail off that time, you see? So now, for the rest of the fight, he will not be able to get that buff from the snake biting. You can see the lunge. You either got to roll backwards or to the side. Once you do that, it's actually really easy to avoid and get a nice hit in behind him. The real difficulty in this fight is not getting the first Maneater dead fast enough so that you have two simultaneously fighting you, lunging at you, shooting projectiles at you, and that's where things get really hairy. If things ever get really bad, one tactic is you can kind of run up here near this brazier and use it as sort of like a space buffer. I'll show you here. So it's like, oh, imagine there's two of them running at me. I can lure them around. They're kind of slow to pick up my scent again. I can use this opportunity to heal or buff my weapon or whatever. But now that this guy is just by himself, it's actually going to be a pretty easy fight. Jumping ground pound, pretty easy to avoid. Oop, he hit me with his little thing. Let's avoid that. Another benefit too is that in the air he can use his attack to shoot some projectiles at you, but if that tail is gone, he doesn't have that attack. I don't know where he's going. Roll out of the way. A couple more hits. And that's the Maneaters for him. So we're going to run up here and hit the Archstone and finish off World 3 with the boss, the old monk. So be sure to watch that video. Thanks.